Welcome to Imperfect Momming. Our children are constantly looking to us for examples. The term role model doesn't quite cut it here. We are shaping their worldview with every move we make. You see, it's not in the lectures we give or moments where we are actively attempting to teach them. It's in the micro movements we make, the unconscious ways in which we navigate life. We are constantly teaching our children how to show up for themselves, their friends, their future partners, and even their future children. So what can we do to ensure we are raising thoughtful, compassionate, self-aware human beings? We have to become them ourselves. No one is perfect, but we can still all be better, and it starts with self-healing. Let's get to it. Good morning and welcome to Mom Happy Hour. A couple days late, but never a dollar short. And if you're listening on the podcast, Imperfect Momming Podcast, welcome. And I'm happy that you are here and listening. And I've noticed that my listenership has actually tripled in the last week. So that's really exciting. So I'm glad you guys are listening and enjoying, and hopefully you are sharing with friends. And I am coming to you live from my home for the first time in a couple of weeks. And I am so excited to be home. Today is my boyfriend Larry's birthday. So wish him happy birthday for me. Even if it's just in your thoughts. So yeah, I've been gone, I've been around, I've been trying out different things. I did a podcast or a mom happy hour from the front seat of my car. I did it from Toronto, Canada, where I was visiting a friend. Was such a beautiful experience that was to I've made a lot of friends virtually since 2020, and it was nice to see her in person. And I know that she and I had met in 2018, end of 2018, but we were probably in the same room for about 2 hours, and then I had to leave. Like, everyone that was watching my son was having an emergency, and there was nobody to take care of him, and so I had to rush back home from LA, and I was delivering breast milk because I was pumping for another surrogate baby. So I had to deliver the breast milk really quick and then go home. And it was really, I don't know, a little anxiety producing, thinking, there's nobody around to who's able to take care of my son, or I don't remember all the details now. Maybe I got there in time to pick him up from school. But everything did end up working out. Everyone was fine. Ultimately, and I remember being very irritated that I didn't get to stay for the event, and I had a coaching call with my coach, and we talked through it, and I felt better about it. It was even though like the situation hadn't changed, like I still missed the event. And I still had to come home early. I didn't get everything out of it that I was hoping to get out of it when I went. But I felt better even though none of the factors had changed. So these are, the kind of cool things that happen when you're coaching with someone. And anyway, so my friend lives in Toronto, Canada, and we have just about talked every single day since lockdown, and she and I are like to co-work together, and we decided that we're going to be doing a lot more things together. So I will introduce you to Erin when she does show up. So the thing that I was thinking this morning as I was making breakfast for Larry's birthday, number one is that this is like the first time in my life that I've actually enjoyed cooking. I have like literally never enjoyed it. My mom always tried to teach me, and I was not interested in doing it. And last night I came home and I made dinner. Like after driving and traveling for 2 days straight, I came home and made dinner like willingly with a happy heart, and and used things that from the things that we already had. I didn't feel like going to the store. And so there was some things that were about to go bad and I used them, and it was a really great meal. And there's leftovers today that I'm going to enjoy this morning or tomorrow, later today. And so I was making breakfast this morning, and I love listening to music, and everybody's bedroom doors were closed. So even though I'm awake at 6:30 and making breakfast, like that, I felt permission to turn the music on without waking anybody up. And Mariah Carey's Heartbreaker came on. And I wasn't 100% sure what I was going to talk about today, because I've had several thoughts of like things that I could talk about, but they've come and then they've gone. So I was sitting at my desk and waiting for a video to download. I was like, this is the perfect time to jump on. And I look at my desk and there's a mosquito eater that died. Have you guys noticed this mosquito eaters if you're in California? Like, have you noticed, maybe it's not just California, but like Larry said he left the front door open when he went to go pick up my son sometime this week, and there was like 50 mosquito eaters in the house, just all over the place. And I've been seeing them all just dying. They're dead everywhere. Anyway, so there's a mosquito eater on my desk that died. And Larry said that he went through and killed all these mosquito eaters. And I was like, well, they're mosquito eaters, right? Like last year we had a problem with mosquitoes. Like we should let some of them live, right? And he said, yeah, we found out that mosquito eaters don't actually eat mosquitoes. But that's their name. Like that should be what they do, right? Like, why are we calling them a mosquito eater if they don't eat mosquitoes? So when he told me that made me think of when I was cooking and I was listening to Mariah Carey's Heartbreaker, and and the song is Heartbreaker, you got the best of me, something anyway. But she says something along the fact that I knew you would break my heart. And it's like, well, yeah, what else would a heartbreaker do if not break your heart? Like if you're going to call somebody a heartbreaker, then you should know that they're going to break your heart, right? So I have really random thoughts, and lucky you guys get to hear them, right? So I started thinking about the things that we call things like the mosquito eater and heartbreaker, like how we label things can be very important. And there can be like some real power inside the way that we label things. And our brain likes to label things because it makes it easier. So, for example, I have a TV next to me, and that's probably a bad example. So I'm going to have you guys picture a car. Okay. What kind of car did you picture? I have a Toyota CHR. Yesterday I was picked up in the airport, or 2 days ago I was picked up at the airport by a Tesla. Okay, so those are two different cars, but they're both considered cars, right? And so our brain labels things that way for ease. So I'm going to talk about emotions and why it's so powerful to be careful how you label your emotions. I heard a story from my coach once upon a time. Well, I've heard the story many times, but it was about a client he had that was afraid to drive on the freeway. And he said, well, how do you know you're afraid? And she said, well, I have like a feeling in my stomach, and my heart starts racing, and a couple other things. And he said, well, that's really interesting, because that's how I feel when I'm excited. So when I'm like, he said that he hit a home run. He was a baseball player. He hit a home run, and it ended up being a grand slam, I think is what they call it, when you when 4 people score because of your home run. And that he said that's the same feeling that he got in his body. So if his feeling of excitement and her feeling of fear have the same sensation in your body, then how we label it can be really important. So what I've been doing recently is really trying to connect with the feelings in my body. I had a teacher teach me about feeling what a yes feels like and feeling what a no feels like in my body. It's really super interesting, right? So if you want to try this, think of something true, right? Think of like, my name is Alicia, right? That's true. So when I think my name Alicia, there's a lightness, as in not heavy, sensation in my heart. This is where I feel a lot of stuff. My heart and my stomach is where I feel I'm most connected to the feelings in those 2 places. And so when I ask myself, is my name Alicia? The answer is yes. When I ask myself, is my name Xander? I feel a little tightness, and it feels heavier because my name's not Xander, right? You got to try this. Like, it's the coolest thing. We are not, we're not taught to pay attention to our body. Our body has messages for us. I'm like super getting into all of this world about, how our emotions stay in our body, and when we don't release them, that's ultimately, that for long periods of time, that's what creates disease. And when you think of, I have control over every single thing. I have control of my thoughts. I have control of whether I get sick. I have control over just how I perceive everything. It is a really cool feeling. So I think that's it for me for today. But I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to hear where you feel yes and no. One thing to highlight is yes usually feels light, as in not heavy. And negative, not false, no feels heavy. So I'm really curious to see what you guys come up with. So thank you again for taking the time in your day to listen to me and play around and laugh at my inner dialogue with me. And there will be another episode of Imperfect Momming podcast tomorrow, and we'll have another mom happy hour next week on Monday. And until then, keep healing. Bye, guys. Thank you for tuning in to Imperfect Momming. It's time for us to step up and realize that our power is not in trying to shape our children. Our power lies in shaping ourselves into the people we want our children to model themselves after. Don't just do it for your kids. Do it for yourself. When you become a more self-aware, compassionate, and confident person, you and everyone around you benefit. For more information about me and my work, visit AliciaLyons.com. That's ALYSIALYONS.com. See you next time.